You're looking at beautiful downtown Toronto from Lake Ontario, the CN Tower. Prominently displayed always. We're at what used to be Maple Leaf Gardens, the historic Maple Leaf Gardens in Mattamy Athletic Center, home of the Toronto Metropolitan University Bold. And this is Bold. Hello, Canada. Hello, world. Hello, Global Jam. Rod Black, Jonesy, Paul Jones, back together again, and why not start off the Global Jam with a little morning session?
I'm having a Freedom 55 moment.
I think it's more like Freedom 65
yeah,
for some of us.
For those of a different generation,
yes.
It is outstanding to be in this building.
Yes.
Outstanding to see basketball in Canada, how far it's come, and we see now Canada hosting world-class basketball events. And it's just terrific. And I'm looking forward to a really, really good game today.
This is game one of the Global Jam. There are 4 teams in the men's and women's division, and the women will kick it off here in Toronto today. We have Puerto Rico and a lot of young players that we're going to talk about, some with pedigrees that link to the United States and colleges, but against a real powerhouse team today. It's going to be tough for Puerto Rico because they're up against the University of Louisville Cardinals.
Well, Louisville, famously an Elite 8 team, and as much as people remember all the social media stuff going on with that team, they're a pretty solid basketball team. They are a new team in transition, though. When you think about
a lot of transfers.
A lot of transfers, and you know, Coach Jeff Walz, who's been there for 17 years, is using this to kind of help move his team forward. They're not giving out any trophies in November, but he wants to be ready for March.
What a great opportunity.
Yeah.
It's actually the summer league there's Jeff, who's a terrific coach, and he's led this program to such great success. I mean, yeah, they haven't won a championship, but they've been runners up before. They've been to the Elite 8, as you mentioned, the last 5 years, as a matter of fact, the only program right now straight 5 years into that Elite 8. But for this Louisville team, what are your keys? Paul Jones, keys to the game.
Well, Louisville was a very good rebounding team in the ACC last year. They were 6th in offensive rebounding, 4th in defensive rebounding. And Rod, we know this. Rebounding is a measure of effort.
Yes.
So I will be keeping an eye on the rebounding today for both teams, actually, because it shows you how hard you're willing to work. Transition. If teams can get easy baskets, you don't have to grind in the half court. You get down there before the defense is set, you can get some easy scores. And that's one of the ways to combat the unknown of the opponent. Get your transition game going. And lastly, defensive cohesion. I said transfers for Louisville, Puerto Rico not together long either. How do these teams fit the pieces together defensively when there's help, when there's rotations? How do those things fall into play to keep you in the basketball game?
You're watching Sydney Taylor, a grad transfer, one of the 6 on this team. Sydney coming over from UMass, and a lot of these transfers have had success in their previous programs, and many of them are grad transfers.
Yeah, and listen, Rod, we know with the transfer portal open in U.S. college basketball, hey, it's the Wild West. You know, free agency has come to college basketball, right?
Good or bad for some people in many different sports. Very good for some athletes who have an opportunity, a second opportunity. What are you thinking for Puerto Rico today? This is, and one of the things we should mention, this is an under-23 tournament. Puerto Rico, the nation, just came off a loss last week against Canada
in the America
Cup. And Louisville has a Canadian on this team today. We'll watch Marissa Russell.
Yeah, we're going to develop that story and talk about that. But again, those keys that went up are the same for the Puerto Rican squad. They've got to be able to rebound, Rod. You look at the size discrepancy at times for Louisville. Puerto Rico's got to hold their own on the board. And I'm going to see how they handle the defensive pressure. Louisville comes out and they will guard you. They really will guard you. They'll be up on you. They'll make it difficult for you. So let's see how Puerto Rico handles the pressure.
Marissa Russell, we talked about, she's an Ottawa native, had a chance to play with the national team, play at AmeriCup. You had a chance to see her before the game, and of course you would ask her the most obvious question.
I said to her, I said, Marissa, where's my bronze medal? I want to see the bronze medal from America Cup. And she said, I actually left it at home. And she had quite the travel day yesterday coming back from the America Cup in Mexico, navigating canceled flights, delayed flights, and landed at the same time as one of the video coordinators from another team.
Wow.
So, but hey, she's young.
She's
she can
young.
handle it.
She can
right?
handle. She's got fans here and her family. I can see some friends and family who made the trek from the nation's capital, and again coming all the way from Leon, Mexico. So it's Louisville and it's Puerto Rico to kick off 2023 Global Jam. Now, Jonesy, you and I have been on a lot of different networks in our time.
Yes.
Is this your YouTube debut?
It might
be.
It might be. If not,
we're
the
somewhere.
debut, certainly the proudest moment.
Yes, exactly. I'm so happy to be with you today, partner, and we'll kick this off. It's going to be a fabulous week here. This 5-day tournament. We're going to talk and build the stories throughout the week of Canada, of course, for the local teams, and the Canadian women won this event a year ago.
Yeah, they did. And listen, basketball is just growing by leaps and bounds in Canada. And, you know, we just saw the CEO, Michael Bartlett, kicking around here like a proud father.
Does he ever look like one?
His thing was more basketball for Canada in Canada. And with the second year of Global Jam, I really think he's accomplishing that. Listen, you saw some of these women in the NCAA. You saw this Louisville program in the tournament in the Elite Eight. On the men's side last year, Keontae George was a top pick in the NBA, first-round pick, and is really going to town in Summer League. So Global Jam is on the mat.
And Global Jam 2023 is underway, and it is Puerto Rico. That's number 23, Trinity Kellyanne San Antonio, who played in America Cup. And how about that start right there from her? And she has to be a little fired up, too, because she's just coming off the floor at that big tournament. So let's see how Louisville will run their offense. Again, a lot of new faces, and they'll try to three right back, and they don't, and it's brought down again by San Antonio.
She did a great job on the previous possession. Puerto Rico ran their set very nicely to free her up with that kind of Allen Iverson cut across the foul line with two screens.
And she is someone who is not intimidated by any of these American NCAA players. She plays at Grand Canyon University in Arizona. So a nice three that time by Sydney Taylor.
Well, that's her thing, right? Sydney Taylor was one of the top 10 three-point shooters in the NCAA at UMass, and she's showing you why on that play.
Couple of arms flailing this time. First foul of this ball game. As we welcome you around the world watching. I'm sure a lot of people watching down in the great state of Kentucky, watching this team from Louisville and throughout the United States and Canada.
Here's my question, though. I see lots of Big Blue Nation here with the men's team in town. I know they have a heated rivalry.
Yes, the Wildcats.
Might they be quietly cheering for Louisville right now?
They might. Lots of Kentucky here this week. And they've got some full court pressure here early on from Puerto Rico, and why not? Kiki Jefferson bounce pass inside underneath. Little scoop shot that doesn't go by Nyla Harrison. Right now, Puerto Rico has to like what the early going represents for this team. Good defense, good ball control, and a tie game.
Great ball movement there.
Oh, and one.
Terrific ball movement, patience, and a great cut by Vargas along the baseline.
Our Vargas plays at Stony Brooks University. How about that? Couple minutes in. And again, I think, Jonesy, we can't say it enough. For Jeff Walz and the Cardinals, this is a real peek into what next season is about. This is a real look-see.
It is.
At some of these players who did not play together before.
Well, it was like you said, the transfer portal has brought some new people in, and they're trying to play together. Jeff really stresses transition, but it's tough to get transition when you're taking it out of the net.
Taylor for three. Yes. Oh, she does that. Coach just yelled at her. That's the way to do that. 6-6 game early on here. Number 13, Kaylin Alexandria Satterfield, and end-to-end. Nice defense hustling back is San Antonio.
Well, good job. Again, Louisville wants to stress the transition. Watch part of their scrimmage yesterday with the BAL select team, the African select team, and they really stressed the transition.
Great inbounds. Olivia Cochran, one of the returnees, senior. San Antonio circus shot.
Well, there's the transition, right, Rod? We talked about Louisville scores, home run trot, they're not back.
Home run shot. Sydney Taylor again. Sydney Taylor putting on a show here, 3 threes already.
Has she had a shot hit the rim?
Don't believe so, all net so far. San Antonio, Puerto Rico working this play. Try to post up number 42, Zapata. And we've got a reach in here, and we've got an early substitution as well coming up for Louisville.
Well, the defense by Louisville, strong on the ball, fighting for position in the post. That's where the problem happens. But San Antonio, Rod, as we just saw there, doing a really good job on the push in transition.
Nyla Harris comes out, Henny Van Schaik. Dutch woman comes in. Transfer from Cal State. There she is. San Antonio has been the Energizer Bunny so far for Puerto Rico. Trinity Kailani, San Antonio. And we have a timeout here. 7 minutes to go first quarter, and the Americans with a 3-point lead, mostly thanks to number 1, Sydney Taylor.
Well, they've done a good job looking for her. And, you know, Coach talked about that. Coach Walls talked about that. As somebody who shoots the ball well, it's his job. He said, it's my job to find her good shots, get her good shots, and have the rest of the team understand. And, Rod, we know this. When you are forming a team, one of the biggest elements is giving a player a role and having them adhere to it. If the team is like a car and a machine, not everybody can be the engine.
No.
You need that 5-cent lug nut that holds the wheel on.
And if you look at the pedigree of championship teams.
Yes.
In women's basketball, in men's basketball, in girls basketball, in boys basketball, just take the car into the shop and you'll realize that there are a lot of different moving parts, and you have to have them all.
You
and
do.
A lot of those parts have to be redundant sometimes, but you can't have too many redundancies.
No, and listen, you've got to accept the role too. I mean,
Yes.
it's one thing for coaches to say, well, this is your role. It's another thing for the player to actually say, okay, I will play that role. And that's what sacrifice is about on winning teams.
Does it bring back some memories? I don't know about you. I'm just sitting here, and I've done some BioSteel games here and some TMU games, of course, when they were the Ryerson Rams. But look up.
Oh, yeah.
Look up in the ceiling. Isn't it?
Yeah.
This place, again, if you're just watching us from wherever you are and you don't know about this building, this is one of the most historic buildings in all of sports.
Let's tell the basketball world that the very first NBA game
was played right here.
Right here. Right here. Probably, is it downstairs one floor?
Yes.
I don't know.
I think it's 3 floors.
They've converted it into this beautiful multi-use facility, but
including a Loblaws underneath and a good Starbucks.
That's where we're going at halftime,
yes,
right?
we are. But the Knicks against the Toronto Huskies, the precursor, the BAA to the NBA.
Yeah.
And again, years later, look what Toronto's become, a basketball mecca, of course, in Canada. Canada's become a basketball country as well. Golden era that we live in, and we'll talk more about the Canadian angle. And here is Trinity San Antonio, 11-8 United States, game 1 of the Global Jam. Throwing it on the floor is Satterfield. Nice bounce pass, but unable to handle with Zapata.
It's too bad because Puerto Rico did a nice job of running that play. And give Louisville credit, though, for disrupting the entry pass because that was the cherry on top for Puerto Rico.
Sydney Taylor already 3 threes. Former UMass star. Rebound picked up again by Cochran, over to Jefferson, back inside to Henny Van Schaik. So a lot of newbies on this team touch the ball there.
And that was great cohesion there. Great pass by Kiki Jefferson inside to find Henny Van Schaik.
That was grad transfer from UMass to James Madison over to Cal State. 13-10 now as Puerto Rico answers. Taylor.
San Antonio keeping Puerto Rico in this right now, Rod. She's been really, really solid.
And again, fresh from playing at AmeriCup. Van Schaik back over out here. 3-ball and
Why not?
well shot by a Curry. Jada Curry. No relation.
Yeah, but you know, wearing number 30 and making
Yes, why not?
threes, like it seems to fit the script.
From Corona, California, another transfer from Cal, a Golden Bear. Taylor, close range this time, and it will be Puerto Rico ball. 5:22 to go and a 6-point American lead. Louisville up 6.
Great kick out. Van Schaik touching the paint, and great shot prep by Curry. Catch and shoot, feet ready, hands ready, and a great delivery by Van Schaik too, to be right in the shooting pocket.
Jada Curry talked about, you know, all the transfers that are coming over, but they have also looked at the resume for Louisville and all of the previous transfers who came over, like a Keanu Smith, who had come over at one time, coming over to this program and having success. That's why so many have gone into the portal and come to Louisville. What a great program.
Yeah, I said it's free agency. It really is, and you see a good program, stability with Coach Wall's 17 years.
Her first personal foul and the
That's
fourth
something you want to
team
be
foul.
part of.
Little discussion here with the officials. We'll have some shots. Marissa Russell's coming into the game, number 13.
At the line for
Canadian
Puerto
passport,
Rico,
coming
number
off
13,
AmeriCup,
Kate
and coming off a bronze medal. What a great opportunity for her. Canada beat Puerto Rico in the bronze medal game and all. Had a really good game against Team USA. Could have played for gold.
She said that was as close as we've been to the U.S. and Canada slowly closing the gap. And it was interesting when they made the announcement. There were some corporate partnership announcements for Global Jam, and Marissa and one of her teammates from AmeriCup sitting on the baseline, Sammy Hill, they were all there, and I said to Marissa, how you feeling about this Global Jam where you're going to be wearing a different red and white?
Yes. When you're not standing for the Canadian anthem, which she's, I'm sure, through the years used to standing for that American as well. And she's a senior who's played at Louisville. Again, the men's team from Kentucky, the Wildcats here, play later today. Marissa over to Van Schaik. And the shot clock expires.
Good defense by Puerto Rico. Yeah, really good defense. Rod kept them out on the floor, and the ball pressure, you know, the first of your 3 tenets defensively, a ball pressure, 1 pass away, and the help side was applied there. The ball pressure was tremendous, and that really took Louisville out of their set.
To the game now is Nina Claudia De Leon. Puerto Rico up there with San Antonio. She rolls, so does this team in red today, De Leon. Pounds that rock. Long cross court, long shot for 3. Doesn't get the bounce this time for San Antonio.
Well, they know who's supposed to shoot the shot though, right?
Well, they're starting to close out on her a lot more now. Here's Rickards with a soft 12-footer, no. Big rebound there by Garcia.
Rickards, another grad transfer from Florida. He's a New York City kid from the Bronx.
Yes, the Bronx.
Great job by Russell there in the passing lane.
And a foul the other side. I'm not sure if they got Garcia or they got San Antonio. It is Garcia on the foul this time. You mentioned Nina Rickards as well. What a great high school. Christ the King Regional High School. Some pretty good names came out of there.
Some pretty good names came out of Christ the King.
Sue Bird, of course. Shamika Holzglaw. Lamar Odom.
They've had some players. They've had some players in that program, no question.
What an eclectic team this Louisville team is, all over.
And as you said, Rod, this is a good opportunity because there are limited practice times now in the off season in the NCAA, right? It can only be 1 hour of individual work. You can't have the whole team together.
Yeah.
And Louisville gets a trip like this where they can have 10 practices, 4 games. They had a scrimmage last night against the African select team. So this is a real chance to jumpstart things going into the fall when the season starts.
And also, you know, not a lot of time with the coaches as well, because they have those 4-day openings, recruiting openings, those holes that you have. Jeff and his crew, they've been recruiting this week. They just came in Monday.
Yeah.
So it's really tough, and you got to assess your team, because what they are right now, they're likely not going to be in the fall.
Well, and as we said off the top, Rod, there's no banners and rings and trophies being given out in November. I mean, you are building for March. And Coach Walls talked about that, you know, getting a feel for his team. Do I want to be calling timeouts at the end of the game? Do I want to let my team go? Assessing the composite IQ of his team. Can I put stuff in quickly that they'll pick up? Or am I going to have to work at it more? These are all things you find out in these times.
Or what kind of team, what kind of MO offensively and defensively will I have? And how will these new players who come through the transfer portal, but they're not like they're fresh faces.
Right.
They have played, some are grad transfers who have played. How will they be able to meld into this team over the next few months? It's very interesting. This is got to be a big jigsaw puzzle for him.
Well, their defense is pretty good right now, holding Puerto Rico to 4 of 10 from the floor. The problem is 3 of those 4 makes have been from beyond the arc. So the three-point shooting has become such a weapon, Rod, in basketball. And, you know, we went through the era of the big man, the big person inside.
Now the big guys all shoot threes.
And some of the mathematicians got into the game and said, we need a way to counteract the fact that we don't have somebody who's dominant close to the basket. And here we are in basically a new era.
New era. I still like the era too, though. I guess I'm not sure if you're still as old school as I am. I still love going get your deuces as well. If they're open, take that too. I don't care what the numbers say.
Well,
a good 2 is way better than a bad 3.
Well, you know, I heard a great line from one of our colleagues in Dallas who said, yes, 3 is better than 2, but 2 is better than nothing.
Nothing. Exactly.
And the analytics will still tell you the best shot is a layup, followed by a free throw, and then the 3. And you just don't have to default to the 3.
It's a different era, though. You're so right. College basketball, pro basketball, kids basketball. Ilya Love, mid-year transfer last year from Georgia Tech. She came to this team in January.
Really nice block here. Great help by Garcia coming off the ball.
Bank wasn't open this time. Back comes Puerto Rico with De Leon. 3 minutes to go in this opening frame. 18-12.
Look at the ball pressure.
Louisville, look at this. Great D, and you could hear the bench here in Louisville just encouraging that defense. Good rebound, though. San Antonio bounce pass back out to Quezada. Leon works with Garcia. Big pick here. Garcia down low. Wanted the ball, did not get it. They tossed that up. That almost went at the shot clock, and they got the ball back. San Antonio tries to bank it off the American player. She does.
That was stifling ball pressure and defense by Louisville. And Puerto Rico, a very kind of deliberate team trying to run their stuff, but sometimes you have to take what the opening gives you because there may not be a lot of openings.
Well, stifling is right. De Leon, shot clock's at 4. Shot clock's at 3. This is a heave by Garcia. Rebound ripped down by Marissa Russell. Canadian stolen here by Quezada. Quezada, just little dish, and the lay-in comes from Vargas.
Well, there you go. There's a transition. You don't have to play the stifling defense. You get an easy one on a 3-on-2.
So that was from Penzo, who's out on the floor in San Antonio, and now a good chance to cut the lead a little closer again for Puerto Rico. San Antonio working on Love. Quesada is dusted in the paint.
Really nice screen and roll action there in transition by Puerto Rico. San Antonio with a nice dish. And this is a terrific job on the screen roll. And Louisville clamping them down. But if you're Puerto Rico, you really want to take advantage of the easy stuff in transition.
San Antonio is out now on the bench. She's going to take a quick rest, I'd imagine.
This will be a key time, Rod. 18-14 when she left the game. Let's see what happens, how they survive without her.
Penzo will inbound. They line it up. Cauley comes in for her, and there's a steal again. Here's Marissa's tripped up, and there is a foul. Number 8, Alicia Penzo, tripping up the Canadian, Marissa Russell. Ottawa native. Bronze medalist.
It's got to be so much fun for Marissa to be able to play in Canada, be at Global Jam.
Play for Canada.
She's just played for Canada. Now she's with her university team. And the competitive fire is burning there for sure.
Oh, what a beautiful feed from Curry inside, and nice lay-in by Marissa. Or that's number 23, Alexia Mobley.
Great job as Curry made the pass. Coach Walls was saying, you know, you can shoot that ball, but they did get a layup out of it. Hard to argue that.
6-point lead, a minute to go. Great D, just closing out everything here. Cauley, no, way off. Back come the Cardinals. Love waits, Curry, baseline. Easy little jumper, rattles on the back iron.
Even though that was a miss, you could hear Coach Walls saying, good shot. Problem is they didn't get back at the other end.
Abelis Santiago plays at the University of Puerto Rico. Final 30 seconds, shot clock's at 17. Chance for 2 for 1 here. And nice shake that time from Alexia Mobley.
That's a great move by Mobley. Good post up. Got to the middle of the paint.
So shot clock is off, final 15 seconds. 6-point game for Louisville. De Leon, shot clock's at 6. Shot clock's at 5. He wants to take it herself. Number 3, and the shot clock did not expire. She got a shot off and was fouled.
And you know, it's too bad because Louisville did a really nice job on what we would call the switch and smother. There was a screen roll, there was a switch, and Mobley was on a smaller player. And she really bailed her out. 1/10 of a second, giving her a couple of free throws. At that point, you just use your height, stand tall, and make them take a tough contested shot.
And fortunately for Louisville, no harm, but a foul. 22-16 after 1 here. Team Louisville, the Cardinals coming to Toronto, playing in the Global Jam. Play their first quarter and have a pretty good showing from some of these grad transfers.
Yeah, pretty good. I mean, Coach Walls has to be happy with the defense especially. They're doing a really good job making it tough on Puerto Rico. I would gather that 40% shooting, that number has probably dropped a little bit. The issue is what Louisville is giving Puerto Rico in transition.
Puerto Rico threw up a few shots here in San Antonio. She was a factor for Puerto Rico. She's probably the main reason this is only a 6-point game.
I agree wholeheartedly, Rod. She has been terrific, but this is the stuff. Puerto Rico taking advantage of the transition, doing a really nice job. Louisville not able to get back, and when you're running your stuff in half court against Louisville, they are tough. Great pass there by Curry, even though Coach Walls wanted the shot. She did a nice job delivering. And again, most of these Puerto Rico highlights, Rod, we're seeing are transition buckets. And I highlighted that as a key because you don't have to grind against the half-court offense. The other part of that is transition comes with turnovers. You got to look after the ball. And that's something that I'm sure both teams will be stressing.
Carlos Carcaño, the coach, look at the animation here from the coach for Team Puerto Rico, probably explaining some of the same stuff that you were just talking about.
Love the passion. That's what this game is all about. You know, it's a kid's game, you know, something that I always talked about when I was coaching at any level. You got to have fun. Play hard, play fair, play together, but man, at some point, if you're not sitting there saying, there's nowhere else I'd rather be,
then right here.
Take off your uniform, take off your shoes, and leave the building.
Go play Fortnite.
Yep, yep.
Because one of the great things that sport, in particular this sport, if you are lucky enough to work hard at it and have fun and have success, you get to do great things like travel the world. Think about some of these young ladies from Puerto Rico. They've never had a chance to get to Canada before. How about some of these players from University of Louisville, a chance to come to Toronto, a great big city for the first time.
They're asking where are the nice restaurants.
Yes.
They want to know where Drake hangs out.
Yeah.
I said, go up to Yorkville. You might see some nice cars. It's our version of Beverly Hills.
Yes.
Like, go hang out in Yorkville.
Just go to your parking spot, see where your car is.
I said when Kentucky's here, you never know. Drake's a Kentucky fan.
Yes.
He might show up. Who knows?
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
At his concert the other day in Detroit. He's got one coming up in Toronto.
Here's Marissa Russell playing on home floor, Ottawa native here in Toronto. Here's Curry, shot clock's at 4, lets it fly. No, good rebound underneath and put right up by the Canadian Marissa Russell.
Great job by Marissa on the inside, knowing that the shot was going to come, getting into the right spot.
24-16. Tough going right now for Puerto Rico. Again, San Antonio still on the bench. Getting a chance to see some of the other players like Perez right now. Back over to Santiago. No. Puerto Rico team that has some players who play in the United States NCAA ball, Division I and Division II.
That shot, last shot by Louisville, or by Puerto Rico, Rodriguez, definitely under pressure from Louisville.
Olivia Cochran with the miss. 8-point lead. De Leon trying to work something here. So hard though, Louisville, just suffocating D.
Yeah,
here they go, and here is an easy lay-in for Rickards to extend the lead to 10, biggest lead of the game.
That's what happens, Rod. When your defense is good, it creates turnovers. Turnovers happen when there's usually when there's an imbalance on the other end defensively, and you get runouts.
Get a sense from this Louisville bench right now, just from the energy and the energy of their coach. It was like a nice little warm-up.
Yeah.
First quarter. You saw even the full court pressure there. Okay, time to put the hammer down now.
Yeah, they're smelling blood in the water right now, especially with San Antonio off the floor. Good idea there on the transition. Not quite the execution. Here's the turnover, Rod, that turns into an easy one. Live ball turnovers are so tough. You see all five Puerto Rican players in the backcourt and a run out for Louisville. The live ball turnovers are a killer.
So here's Trinity Kalani, San Antonio. Kept her team in early on, had 7 points in that first quarter. She's back on the floor, number 23. Number seems to follow a lot of good players, doesn't it? Oh, a nice play there. Up and fouled. The bucket doesn't go by Satterfield.
8-2. Louisville outscores Puerto Rico with San Antonio on the bench, right? We took note of it. It was 18-14 when she went out. Now they're down 10. So let's see if she can pull them back in it. As a ball handler, she should be able to provide some pressure release when the other team bellies up on you. You know, you teach young kids when the pressure comes up, use your handle, get past people. Now it forces them to rotate, and you have an advantage.
Kaylin Alexandria Satterfield plays at a good program as well. Member of the team at Seton Hall University. Tell you one thing, talked about the recruiting periods for coaches. There was a time probably 2 or 3 decades ago, you know, you probably stayed closer to home.
Yeah.
Now you get on planes, trains, and automobiles, and you find players from around the world.
It has truly become a global game, Rod.
Here we are, day 1 at Global Jam 2023. Second year, so successful last year. The Brazil men's team won this tournament. The Canadian women's team won this tournament a year ago. Who will win this year? 4 teams make up the women's bracket. This team from Louisville representing the U.S., Puerto Rico, Canada, and as you mentioned, that team from Africa.
Well, a good stop there by Puerto Rico, trying to creep back into it.
San Antonio. Almost lost the handle was Vargas.
Look at the defense, Louisville, ball pressure.
Cochran was right up on her.
Deny.
Deny, deny, look at the hands. They're just shouting it. Shot clock will expire. It was just impossible to penetrate.
One of my buddies called that the Donald Trump defense. Deny, deny, deny. Don't let anything in. And great job that time.
And that's not fake news, by the way. That's not fake news. Deny, deny. There it is, and a foul. That was against Louisville.
Offensive.
Yeah, offensive foul. That was a block there.
Offensive foul on Louisville, number 44.
Kind of shaking his head. Let's take a look here.
They got Cochran underneath, fighting for position.
So we have a timeout here.
She does a terrific job on the glass. She knows where her meals come from, and she's down there grinding under the hoop. And that time, just a little bit too aggressive.
Rod Black, Paul Jones with you here. Day 1, game 1 at the Global Jam. For the uninitiated, what can we expect over the next 5 days?
Just terrific basketball, Rod, from a fan standpoint. All of the programs, high quality, world-class programs. Listen, the story goes from Michael Bartlett, CEO of Canada Basketball, after the first day last year when the Baylor Bears were representing Team USA. He got a call from John Calipari. Said, "Are you doing this next year?" "Yeah." "Well, we as Kentucky want to be the USA next year." And so it shows the quality. So for you ask, what are we going to get the next 4 or 5 days? We're going to get quality basketball. We're going to get maximum effort. We're going to get teams preparing for the NCAA tournament, the world stage if you're Canada or Puerto Rico or Germany. Listen, the German men's team is missing one of its stars, some guy named Franz Wagner.
Oh, yes.
Who's under 23 and pretty good. So you're going to see high-quality basketball.
And, we're a year out from Paris and the Olympic Games. It's such an important time for national team players with some of the spots that have not been solidified. But it's such an important time for players, too, trying to find jobs in the winter.
Well, listen. The AmeriCup that the Canadian women just came out of, the USA now, because they won, they get to bypass a November qualifier and go straight to the main qualifier in February. Unfortunately for us, Canada, with the bronze, we do have to enter that November qualifier. We've been successful. I have no qualms about...
5th ranked team in the world right now.
Right. I have no qualms about Canada moving forward. But as you said, all of this is in preparation for a bigger fish that you're trying to catch next year in Paris.
So 26-18, close to the midway point of the second quarter here on opening day, opening game of Global Jam. Puerto Rico in red. Louisville Cardinals representing the United States in white. Another errant toss inside, trying to force those passes now. And every time there is a white uniform there. Out to the corner, and record shot is off.
Good basketball. Too bad they couldn't get the finish.
Here comes San Antonio. Euro step. Will go to the line and shoot 2.
And what do we have, Rod? We had a missed shot from the corner when that rebound caroms out toward the middle of the court, and it goes to a ball handler. This is a one-woman fast break.
Oh, yes.
Like she catches that ball. And think about trying to stop her one-on-one full court. That's like trying to hold water in your hands. You can do it for a little while, but stuff's going to start leaking.
Do you know what? Her name is probably the most Googled name in basketball right now. I would have to think.
Some French guy that is
after
playing.
the last little while, everybody raving about that San Antonio team and the luck they have in the lottery, and of course the guy who they say is the next generational player, sending it back out and inside. There's a foul. No, it's knocked out of bounds. Yes, it is a foul.
They are going to go with a foul, yeah. And just to put a bow on that, then they give maybe the guy who's the best coach all time a new contract.
Yes. Yeah. How many times, when you think about what Greg Popovich has done and been around, and the big men that have helped win championships. And we watched Victor Wembanyama during the Summer League, which is on now, and have so much summer basketball. This is another great opportunity. Middle of summer. Years ago, you never would have seen it. You never would have seen it. It's 24/7.
The sport is a 12-month-a-year sport
it is.
now. No question. No question.
Great chance for these young women. Get ready for the NCAA season, and for some also to work towards goals with their national team. 6 minutes to go. Nice bounce pass, but not handled by Santiago.
I just think the pressure that Louisville is applying makes those passes, they're a little quicker, a little earlier than you want. The defenders the offensive players so worried about shaking free that you're unable to catch and get comfortable. Louisville's defense is really taking away time and space.
There's the senior Russell, 3 ball, lets it fly, no. That little pick and roll up top. And Jefferson, is that a block? It is. And so Jefferson will go and shoot for a 3-point play. How about this? Kind of wondering if it might have been a charge, but it wasn't.
Great offensive rebounding by Louisville. Kiki Jefferson with the effort. As I said, rebounding is a measure of effort, and she did a great job there. This is the largest lead of the game for the USA, for Louisville, and Coach Carcagno wants a timeout here. His team is on the ropes.
Out of all of the transfers that they've had, you look at the transfers, they brought in a 3-point shooter in Sydney Taylor. Kiki Jefferson, maybe one of the most acclaimed players.
Yes.
Look what she's done. She's a 2-time Conference Player of the Year, ECAC Player of the Year, Sun Belt Player of the Year, Sun Belt Tournament MVP, averaged 18.3 points a game last year, 7.8 rebounds. I mean, the numbers prove, and you saw on that play how good Kiki Jefferson is.
Well, and that's just it. You know, you're at a point now where every player on this Louisville team was the main person at some point on their team. And now it's about melding those talents together and sacrificing at times.
Kind of like an all-star team.
It is. It is. It's exactly like that. And sometimes you have to understand when to take a step back and when it's your time to move forward.
There's Jeff Walls. Fort Thomas, Kentucky, the winningest coach in program history. 400 wins, 441, 124, 16 seasons, 17th now. Here's, you know, it's not all about turning pro, but when you develop pro players,
yes,
that's huge. 14 players in this program drafted into the WNBA under his tutelage.
Well, it says something. It says something about the program, the stability, the teaching, all of it. And he just kind of keeps turning it over year after year. And interesting to sit down and talk to him about the changes that he's seen over his time in college basketball, 16 years. And talked to me earlier about when they joined the ACC and the men's games would have Rick Pitino against Mike Krzyzewski.
Yeah.
And, you know, he says, I'm sitting there, I'm taking it in. And that's, I mean, you reflect, you learn. The old adage that, you know, my late father used to say, when you're through trying to improve, you're through.
You're through.
And Coach Wall's always trying to improve.
That's what it's about. That's how you become a champion. His team's knocked on the door several times. Maybe next year. Oh.
Well, they did a great job there with their pressure, Rod. You know, you get as many steals at the back end of the press as you do at the front end. And they got the steal at the back end. They push it up. Unfortunately, they didn't get a shot. They turned it over. But Puerto Rico's got to be mindful of the pressure.
Look at this 11-point lead and pressure, full court pressure. They might not get it over the mid-court line. They did not. It is Louisville ball. And they are playing. They're playing a summer league game like they're playing a regular season game right now.
Hey, habits are being formed. And look at the pressure. Double team, 90 feet from the basket. And, you know, Puerto Rico, even their best ball handler, San Antonio, kind of falling off the cliff with all the pressure.
San Antonio had 7 points early, has only had 1 point since she re-entered the game. Here's another one. Just look down the score sheet, Jonesy. Everybody has scored for Louisville except for Elia Love. She's probably going to score at some point. Very few have scored for Puerto Rico, and you know, you got a couple of players with 1 bucket, and it's really been San Antonio that's done any damage.
And it's the pressure. It really is. We've seen the pressure from Louisville take Puerto Rico out of what they wanted to run.
Russell, nice steal there from San Antonio. Walls didn't like that, and to the rim was Jefferson. San Antonio rebound again. They retreat quickly, trying to put it up, but look at the D, and it will go.
Well, transition. Yeah, transition, Rod. They got a steal and a run out, and they get an easier one.
Kiki can't make it through. Blocked by 2 players underneath. So the lead back to single digits. 9 points. San Antonio, rare miss. Here they come on the wing. Sydney Taylor. Sydney Taylor will go to the line and shoot here. She didn't get the bucket, but was fouled with 4.5 to go before halftime.
We talked about it, how you beat pressure is trying to get stuff in transition. San Antonio with the rip. Now it's a 2-on-1. She makes the right pass, and even though they had to work for it, they got an easier basket because of the transition opportunity. Kind of hanging around, right? Puerto Rico is down 11. They've cut it to 9. They're just trying to stay close right now.
Sydney Taylor, who averaged 16.1 last season with 5 rebounds per game at UMass.
Great stroke. This young lady has a terrific
it's beautiful
stroke. Great technique.
From Long Island, New York. Marissa Russell will leave. And Schaik comes in, Henny van Schaik from Netherlands. Junior transfer from Cal State Bakersfield. Taylor watching De Leon. Puerto Rico trying to get this back to single digits or closer before halftime. Gotta watch this young lady. San Antonio, no. Back out, 3 ball. Way off, air ball. And it will be Louisville ball.
Again, that's the pressure. I'm open, I better shoot it before somebody gets up in the kitchen. I'm surprised that Puerto Rico hasn't extended the defense a little bit to try and take Louisville out of some of their stuff.
I think they're just working so hard on offense that they might be exhausted the other end of the floor. Van Schaik back out. Taylor for 3. Yes! She has made the 7th most 3-pointers last season in the NCAA. 104, and she's had 4 today.
And you know what Coach Walls was happy about there? The kick-out pass from Henny van Schaik. Drive and kick.
Enzo trying to get San Antonio unglued. She's on the near side, right there, the far side for you watching at home, and great defense. Shot clock expired, and Jefferson just was there to smother.
We've had more shot clock violations by Puerto Rico in this first half that I've seen in some games, just because of the pressure, unable to shake free. And you know, we see them, Louisville coming to the huddle, and Sydney Taylor patting Annie Van Schaik on the back, saying thanks for the hookup.
Looking good so far, 35-21. Game one here at Mattamy Athletic Center in the heart of downtown Toronto. Day one of Global Jam. Puerto Rico and Louisville. Team USA. Later today, it's Canada against Team Africa. The men are underway as well today, so busy schedule. And it's going to be interesting watching the Canadian men as well.
It is. Coached by a couple of veterans, some guys that have been around the program a long time. Dave Diavero, who's also with the Ottawa Blackjacks of the CEBL. Head coach Nathaniel Mitchell, late of the Toronto Raptors, and formerly with the Charlotte Hornets. A fine young Canadian coach will be leading Team Canada. And they were right there last year until a guy who was a first-round pick in the NBA last year got them in the semifinals, Keontae George. But I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward, after a chance to talk to Coach Calipari yesterday, I'm looking forward to see what Big Blue Nation's going to see this year.
And it will be very interesting the entire week. And again, for some of these teams, this is an opportunity to just had some spring workouts, early summer workouts, and not a time that you normally would amp up. Suddenly you're going from 0 to 100 real quick.
Puerto Rico in the zone.
Taylor again, and no. Rare miss for her. De Leon trying to pull it down, and Kiki's right there to finish it up. Kiki Jefferson again.
Well, great pressure up court. Even though they didn't have the rebound, they jammed the outlet, and it turns into a basket for them with the turnover.
San Antonio, they are all over her when she comes up the floor. Another turnover. There comes Taylor quickly up the floor. Baseline now, swung back out to Van Schaik. Van Schaik puts it on the deck and puts it up. And a rebound here. Losing the shoe was Henzo, and lost the handle, and we've got a foul on the floor.
Well, good job there by Louisville on the push. Could have been one more pass to Taylor, but on the last basket by Louisville, you know, you jam the outlet. You don't let them just bust out. And they got a quick steal there. And again, the live ball turnovers turns into an easy basket.
5th team foul. Puerto Rico with 2:25 to go before halftime. Nyla Harris, sophomore. And Louisville, again, one of the returnees, and not many.
Keep your eye on this Louisville team going forward. I mean, we're in the summer right now, but keep an eye on them once the tournament comes up, the ACC season. This is a good program. This is a good team, and they're only going to get better.
And it looks like, you know, from what we saw, it's not only a half in, but they all seem to be buying into what Coach Jeff Walz wants to do.
Well, that's how championship teams are made.
Finally, the seal is broken. Jefferson, all net. Kiki Jefferson lighting it up here in TO.
And she's talking about it too. She just said, boom. I'm waiting for that one to go in.
Biggest lead, 18 now, 41-23. Kiki Jefferson has infused a lot of energy. Jefferson, Louisville Cardinals have their first game here at Global Jam, and as expected, leading a Puerto Rico team, short perhaps on NCAA experience. There's San Antonio, and she'll go to the line and shoot 2. And she's been held off the board for the most part for the field in this second quarter.
Yeah, they did a good job there, turning Louisville over. They get the steal here, quick hands, and again, I sound like I would say a broken record, but maybe some of our
Yeah.
YouTube audience doesn't know what a record is.
Is there a
But-
skip on Spotify? What is it? What is a record? What is a record?
I sound like what is that?
Is that broken record? Is when somebody breaks a record in the record book now.
What is that?
disc?
Like the replay, the arrow that
glitch?
has the circle that
yeah.
keep playing
pinwheel.
over and over. I sound like the pinwheel.
Yes, you're the
But
pinwheel.
when you are able to create a live ball turnover, there is bad defensive balance, and it usually turns into a good opportunity to score.
First half so far has been Sydney Taylor's show along with Kiki Jefferson. They combine right here. Kiki to the rack again. Oh my.
Baseline drive and the kick out, and Jefferson knows what to do with it.
Just when Puerto Rico was starting to break that seal.
A little bit of playmaking here by Taylor, known for her shooting, this time the baseline drive, and spots Jefferson, who goes to work.
Crossover and right to the rack. Satterfield, nothing there, but she will shoot. They didn't like the call here on the Louisville bench next to us. Nyla Harris picks up the foul.
Coach Walls just said that was good. I think he had a problem with the call more than anything else, but it was good defense. And again, the defensive pressure causing tough, rushed, forced shots, because, Rod, it's a mindset too offensively. When you got somebody who's always in your kitchen and you're always trying to clean up, like I have little time here, I have little space, let me try and get it off, and it takes you out of your comfort zone, and everything is a little quicker than usual.
This kitchen reminds, well, almost to us. San Antonio knocks it away. This kitchen is a very small kitchen.
It is a very,
but it's very expensive here in Toronto.
Downtown Toronto?
Very expensive kitchen.
I mean,
but very small.
Some of these places are so small, I got to change. If I want to change my mind, I have to leave the building.
Puerto Rico now trying to up the intensity defensively.
Great
Van
move.
Schaik, nice move, and the dish underneath. And finishing that off is Mobley.
So unselfish, too. Van Schaik was right there for the bucket herself, but decided to get a teammate involved.
40 seconds to go before halftime. Quezada, another steal. So many of those errant tosses. Here's a nice pass underneath, and it is Mobley. Puerto Rico, chance for a quick 2-for-1. Oh, and they knock that down. Few and far between in the second quarter, but Adriana Michelle Quezada plays at San Diego State with the Aztecs.
Well, she had some space and some time. Good job to knock that one down.
Shot clock is off. 10 seconds left in the half. Taylor, no. Brought down. Van Schaik goes up. No whistle there. 1 second. It doesn't go.
There's the rebounding and the size, though, from Louisville with Van Schaik and Mobley. Good half for Louisville.
Yeah, that was maybe the only blip, the only blemish, that ball not falling there. Otherwise, it was all Louisville. Kind of a lukewarm first quarter, and then they started to really turn it on in the second.
Well, the consistency of the effort and the pressure, Rod, over time will take its toll on the opponent, and it gives you the confidence. So Louisville did a nice job in that first half.
45-26, Louisville opening day. Global Jam, downtown T-Dot. We'll take a break wherever you're watching at halftime, and we'll be back. Dan Gladman, the esteemed Dan Gladman.
Award-winning.
And Evan Almighty, yes.
Award-winning
Who's with
Dan
us, Danny
Gladman.
G. We might have to have a rack 'em up Danny G here today. Welcome back wherever you're watching. I'm sure we have a lot of folks watching in the U.S., in and around Kentucky and around Louisville, watching this great young women's team.
They've done a terrific job. Forced 15 turnovers from Puerto Rico and have probably capitalized on a lot of those. Talked to Coach Walls and I said, okay, well, what did you like? What did you not like? He said he really liked the defense, but there are subtle changes that he wants to see, particularly from players that have come through the transfer portal, that their teams play defense differently, right?
Yeah.
The philosophy was different, right? Are you letting people, do you funnel people middle or are you funnel people sideline? Like these are changes that he's working on. You know, you pointed out on a great stat for Jada Curry.
7 assists, 7 quiet assists.
And Coach Walls said she's a great shooter. I need to see her shooting the ball as well too, because opponents watch film and say, okay, well, all she does is pass. She's got a great stroke. He wants her to use it. So these are the little things. And here they come out in pressure on it right away.
Right out of the locker room. There's Cauley. There's Jada Curry on here. There's Curry right away. Let's see if she adds to the assist total here. Jada Curry was 7. Leading scorer was Sydney Taylor with 14. That was her shot in the first half. 10 from Kiki Jefferson. Trinity San Antonio leads the way for Puerto Rico. She had 11, but they got to get more scoring. A 19-point deficit for Puerto Rico. An opening day of Global Jam 2023, the second year of this tournament's existence, and it's already receiving such great hype around the basketball world.
It's a big-time tournament, and you know the word global is what really sits with me, because we've got corners of the world represented, and that's terrific for basketball in Canada.
Well, look at Louisville again with a Canadian, a lot of American players, a player from the Netherlands, and they also have a player looking like she will redshirt this year who was from Nigeria.
Yes.
Who was on this team as well. Puerto Rico, a lot of Puerto Rican players obviously, but they have a chance to play in the U.S. college basketball.
Well, let's see if Puerto Rico goes at the pressure more directly in this second half and tries to get to the foul line. They've done it here. Get to the foul line a little quicker, and let's see if that keeps up.
Well, good way to stop the clock too and try to get back in, cut this down. Puerto Rico in the first quarter had to be considered a major victory. We're down 3 after 1 quarter and played this American team from Louisville so strong. But speaking of so strong, Olivia Cochran, the senior, just bashed and crashed to the boards.
Well, that was against the zone, and she got post-up position and took everybody for a ride.
Olivia, the only player to play and start all 38 games for Louisville last year. Dependable force. San Antonio State is Quezada. A shot at the buzzer. The shot clock expired, but just before that, Kiki Jefferson, 10 in the first half. What a feed underneath to Nyla Harris.
Great pass by Jefferson. Harris on a rim run, getting position. Tough pass in the same lane, but executed with precision.
And the officials looking, and it will be Puerto Rico ball.
The pressure again, and look at the great job. You know, transition, one of the keys we highlighted at the beginning of the game. Rim run, great entry pass, and a live ball turnover here going to turn into something.
Cochran, easy lay-in, transition, turnover. Have been saying it a lot, and now I know Puerto Rico, if they weren't in trouble before, they're in trouble now.
Yeah, they again, turnovers, pressure, just making
too good.
Making it difficult for them. And you know, we saw off the start of the half, Louisville, I mean, they picked him up when they got out of the locker room with that trap rod on the inbound. And here's Cochran. This is against the zone. She just bullies her way to the basket. Great post-up position. And that was one of the things Coach Walls talked about. Here's the transition, dump inside. He wants to see more inside play. And I think you're going to see a focus on that and concentration on that in the second half.
Once again, Cochran. By the way, she comes by her talent quite naturally, Jonesy. Her mom, Tara Williams, played at Auburn. She spent 2 seasons in the WNBA. Her dad, Antonio Cochran, was a defensive lineman for Georgia, the Bulldogs. Then he went to the NFL, played in Seattle with the Seahawks, and also in Arizona.
So she's got the
genes.
She's got the hoops from the mom and the toughness from dad, right? The NFL.
Do you know she plays like that, huh?
She does.
She plays like that.
She is like, if we're playing pickup, I'm not covering her. No. I'm not covering her because I'm in an ice bath when it's all done.
Yep. I'm not playing any Kyle Lowry take the charge as well. No. She is a force underneath. What a team, though, this Louisville team. Again, I'm sure for many of the young ladies, a chance to come to Toronto for the first time. And as you mentioned, you were chatting with some of the support staff here about the restaurants in this great city and, you know, good weather this week in Toronto. Lots going on.
Yeah, they're looking for a good time, as you said, Rod, both on and off the court. And listen, Global Jam is a good time. There's lots of stuff going on here.
The festivals have been fantastic.
Yeah.
They had a 3-on-3 at Yonge and Dundas the other day.
They invited me to play, and I said, don't you know the longer you're retired, the better you were?
Yes.
So
there's a reason we call them old-timer games
That's right.
now.
That's right. That's right. Somebody said, but Jonesy, you and Rod look like you could still play. And I said,
horse.
I said it's
horse.
fashionable, not functional. Looks good, but doesn't work.
That's exactly right.
Like one of those vintage cars, right?
Remember the days we used to play in some of those things, Jonesy? We had fun. I think, remember the NBA All-Star game? I think we had a little up the late before, and I think we were favorites. I think we finished last.
Somebody gave Vegas a bad tip on that one.
Yes. Here's Cochran again, and once again, it's Nyla Harris. Good defense that time from Puerto Rico, and they're going to have to lead with their D as well. They're going to have to find a way to stop Louisville, this unstoppable force offensively.
Louisville's defense is so good in the post here. Look at Taylor, somebody who's considered an offensive player working hard defensively.
Satterfield from the stripe, no. Kiki brings it down. Sydney Taylor, the sharpshooter. Sit behind her back. We'll wait for everybody else. Curry, Jefferson.
Let's see what Louisville does in attacking the zone.
This is probably the best thing they could do, and this is a great way to attack it. Find Jada underneath. 4-3 on the shot clock, 2, and stolen. Good job that time, Puerto Rico defensively.
Yeah, they held tight defensively.
And that looked like a charge. It was. And taking that shot was Kiki Jefferson, that grad transfer from James Madison University.
Great job by Madison, standing her ground, moving her feet. Might have been shuffling a little bit, but the way the charge block has been called, Ron, we talked about the game changing with the offense and the proliferation of the advent of the three-point shot. You know, the charge and the block is called differently too.
Yes.
They allow a little move,
yes,
a little shuffle here or there.
Jefferson corner, the 3-ball again. Sydney Taylor with another one. She's now 5 of 9 from beyond the arc. Comes in with a pedigree for doing that.
Great
They
stroke.
can't answer. Jefferson. Oh,
Great
what
pass.
a dish underneath to Nyla Harris. Kiki Jefferson doing it all here, scoring the rock, defending the rock, dishing the rock.
Great fast break basketball there by Louisville again, hustling it up floor. I'd like to see Puerto Rico try to do more of that. A backdoor cut by Cauley, didn't get it, but you're going to have to relieve the pressure.
Cauley, an 18-footer, no. They get the rebound though, and it looks like we're going to get a jump. I love the quote, Jonesy, from Kiki Jefferson. And here is Jefferson talking about the transfers coming in. And she said, the transfers who are coming in, we're hungry.
Yeah.
Because they're coming also from a lot of programs.
For sure.
That have been knocking on the door and not quite there. One of the reasons that you transfer, number one is probably you're not getting playing time. Or
opportunity.
Or
right?
opportunity.
Yep.
Number two, you might not get a chance to be a winner. And I know you should probably try to stay with a team and become a winner, but when there's an opportunity to win with a franchise or with an organization or with a college team, why not?
Take it, and you know, you know, in the words of Herman Edwards, you play to win the game. It's what it's about, winning and being part of a winning team.
Sydney Taylor and Kiki Jefferson with Coach Walls here. And again, these are players that he hasn't coached before.
No.
And, you know, learning as well and learning about them, and they are certainly learning from him. They look good so far, both of them.
They do. And again, you know, Coach Walls will tell you this is the time to try and develop some cohesiveness.
57-27. Route is on here in the opening game. There's a 3-ball, and finally that goes. First in quite some time. Abelis Rodriguez Santiago. The lead was 30-23 right now.
Great job here on the hit ahead. Again, get a good look before the defense gets set. Good shot preparation there.
Starting to see a lot of Kentucky Wildcat blue in this house, by the way. Starting to creep in as the schedule goes on today. Men's team here from Kentucky, the women's team from Louisville.
Big Blue travels, Big Blue
Yes,
Nation.
they do. Look at them,
They
front
will
row.
follow their team.
You got front row stuff too. Here's De Leon. And Cochran up. And maybe another one here. Can she make it 2 straight? No, that was way off. Jefferson, another rebound.
They did do a nice job, though, of swinging the ball to find an open shot with some time.
Cochran was thinking 3. Jefferson back into Cochran, no stopping her. Just a little too strong, didn't get the roll that time.
Good move, though. Great
Yeah,
post
really
up.
nice.
Good discipline, too. She passed up the long three-pointer and got herself in the post for an easier shot.
That was like what her dad would do, a little swim move.
Yeah.
Right? Little swim move. Good job by Cochran, and they got some subs coming in. Likely probably see a few more subs as this game progresses. 4:28 to go, third quarter, in the heavy lead here.
Well, you know, again, if you're Coach Walls, this is a time to
Experiment.
You know, this is a time to experiment. You know, try some things. Use it as almost as a working practice with that big elite. Work on stuff.
So they've got some big games coming up. Play against the Canadian team from Africa they scrimmaged with last night. This Louisville team's formidable, though. Going to be tough. San Antonio to the D again. The nice switch there. There's Love all over San Antonio. Whereas with that,
great pass by San Antonio. Good job on the roll. Penetration helped break down the pressure a little bit there. And Puerto Rico gets an easy bucket.
Timeout here, 25-point lead for the ladies from Louisville, the Cardinals, who are here at Global Jam on day 1. The building's starting to fill up as we get into the afternoon of the first day session. This Louisville Cardinals team taking it to Puerto Rico in game 1.
Well, Louisville doing a nice job offensively. They have all game. They had 15 assists on their 16 field goals in the first half, and there's the knockdown sniper, Sydney Taylor. But Louisville doing a nice job, as I said, of moving the ball. They find the stuff in transition, and it's about sacrificing and sharing. And Puerto Rico knocking down a 3 here, a rare open look. I mean, Louisville has been all over them and not giving them any room. Nice job here on the screen roll. Again, San Antonio is, she's been the catalyst for Puerto Rico. She's been the main player, and everything running through her. She did a nice job there on that screen and roll.
When they move without the ball, they're better too. They've been standing around a lot and kind of watching, and I'm sure that's what their coach is emphasizing to them. But it's just, I'm sure it's a learning experience for a lot of these players in Puerto Rico playing together as well for the first time in an event like this.
Well, one of the things that we talked about, Rod, was cohesiveness and building that and having that you know, having that maybe overused word in sports, but chemistry, knowing where your teammate is at a certain time, building trust defensively with, you know, with help and with switching and things like that. So, I mean, these are things that every team is going to improve on over the course of this tournament. And, you know, we used to teach basketball camps. Today's the first day of camp, and it's like the first day of the season.
You're right.
2 days from now, it'll be like Christmas. You know, you'll have that much more time together, and by the end of the tournament, that's the end of the year. It goes quickly.
Yeah, and it is. It's, again, 5-day tourney. You'd love to be 5-0 at the end of it and raise this trophy, the Global Jam Trophy. Oh, big block that time. There's a rarity from Puerto Rico. Good closeout. Marissa Russell was blocked. Back out to Vargas. Launches three, no. Front iron. Perez, easy one here. A little left over. Got into her mitts, and she puts it up and in. Rickards.
Nice job by Perez there. She's had a couple of hoops close to the basket. The zone active again for Puerto Rico, and another steal.
San Antonio, a steal, and Coach Walls won't like this. A couple of big defensive stops from Puerto Rico.
Much more aggressive in the zone, Puerto Rico. You see them extending it, active hands, a lot of chatter.
Yeah, it's been very easy for this team to kind of fold right now, and they were getting demoralized. And look at San Antonio again. Great hustle and a third straight stop from Team PR. Vargas, Sheila's going to go to the line. Will they give her a shooting foul? Might have been on the floor.
Coach Walls talking to Van Schaik about swinging the ball. You can't put the ball on the ground in front of somebody like San Antonio. She's quicker than gossip, man.
Yeah,
don't expose the ball to her because you will lose it.
So it was a shooting foul, and Vargas knocks it down. This lead was up to 30. Now it's a 20-point lead. 10-0 run.
Yeah.
Puerto Rico.
Big leads can disappear with the number of possessions and the way the three-pointers being used in basketball these days. Still a comfortable lead for Louisville, but you can just feel the tenor of it changing a little bit.
It makes you wonder why Puerto Rico didn't go to this zone earlier, and there is a run stopper. The run stopper's name, Sydney Taylor.
Great ball movement by Puerto Rico, and Taylor knew that shot was coming.
20 points now for Sydney Taylor, game high. Lethal beyond the arc today. Oh, a nice basket again. Puerto Rico answering, and Perez has really added some stability since she was inserted into this game.
Nice left-handed move in the lane there. Puerto Rico starting to get the ball inside a little bit.
Geez, Alvin Williams is in the house even. Saw Matt Devlin earlier. Sportsnet ready to roll with their coverage coming up. 60-39.
Look at Vargas here. Nice footwork. Nice little left-hand hook turning over the right shoulder.
2 to go, third quarter.
Let's see if Puerto Rico keeps up the aggressiveness with their defense.
Another three, that rattles. And Perez again. She has really helped Puerto Rico get back in this thing. And the circus shot doesn't go, but San Antonio is going to go to the line.
And that's something we talked about at halftime, Rod. You teach kids, when the pressure is up on you, you use one move to get past it. And now the defense is forced to rotate or help, whatever it is that they're doing. And the next time down, that player's going to give you a little more room for fear of being beat off the bounce.
Well, you see, they probably looked in the mirror and saw that coming at them the other way. That's what Louisville was doing for the most part. Still a very big lead, 20, but certainly much more resistance from Puerto Rico here in this third quarter.
Yeah, cutting it down, definitely.
Rickards. San Antonio picks her up. Van Schaik. She'll go down and operate in the paint. Big body down there, tallest player on the floor, and tripped up. Was the Canadian Marissa Russell, and that hurts. Right on the tailbone, it looked maybe the hip. She'll rub that off little.
Man, they're young. That would finish either one of us. That'd be it. That'd be it.
Calling the EMS.
That'd be it. Out for 10 weeks.
Yes. It's our buddy Matty Devlin. I had not seen him rolling in here with his foot injury.
Unfortunately,
jump ball.
Matty D, a little weightlifting accident, but
the weight's won. He's all right though. He's ready to roll here with A-Dub coming up.
How about the aggressiveness continuing on the defense from Puerto Rico? And they get the tie up. They'll have the possession arrow in their favor. And a little bit of passion boiling there with San Antonio getting in the face of Van Schaik.
And you can see Marissa Russell, who is that stabilizer, because she's that senior who's been here before, you know, chatting with some of these transfers out there like Van Schaik and, you know, telling her, giving her some direction, encouragement. San Antonio, nice D there on the double team. Rickards right ahead to Taylor. Taylor strong to the basket. And she makes it 22 in the game for Sydney Taylor.
She has a terrific stroke. She has one of the smoothest gaits going. Like she just never looks like she's fighting anything.
Just effortless it looks like.
Yes.
Shot clock's at 5, 4, and
Ooh.
is that a charge? Yes, it is. Foul against Puerto Rico goes the other way.
Rickards standing in there. Nina giving up the body. Great job standing in there. That takes a lot. You have somebody with that kind of size coming at you.
Taylor will sit now, takes a rest, Jonesy, and in comes Mobley.
There's Louisville getting the turnover, and again, Taylor on the finishing end. Great hands by Louisville. The defense has been exquisite all morning.
30 to go in the quarter. Van Schaik all alone, and she misses that.
Great interior passing, though. The entry pass coming from Mobley.
Penny Van Schaik all alone. Coach Wall's watching it, putting his hands up. And those are the little things right now that, by the way, come November, once the season begins, those will be tuned up.
Yeah, definitely.
I don't think Kenny Van Schaik misses that in the regular season. San Antonio, watched by Rickards, 8 in the quarter. Perez has been so good. Kind of a fall away here, off balance. In it goes underneath with 1 second left in the quarter from Satterfield, the Seton Hall University star.
Puerto Rico did a nice job there. They ran a little double high post, almost horns action. And then they dump it down on the high-low for a bucket on the rebound.
Hey, 19 now. It was 30, and that has to be a moral victory for Puerto Rico.
For sure, they're hanging in there. They're not giving in. As you said, it would have been easy to throw in the towel, but they are continuing to play hard.
And again, maybe game one, as we take a look at some of the highlights of the third quarter, really dominated the third quarter by Puerto Rico D. And San Antonio with a steal there and taking it in for the lay-in. And they were leading with their D. And then, of course, Sydney Taylor was Sydney Taylor.
Sydney Taylor has, well, I haven't seen all the teams. We saw some in the scrimmages yesterday, but if that's not the best stroke in this tournament, it's pretty close to it. And then she does things like this, getting out and getting easy ones. See what the fourth quarter holds for Louisville. Let's see what Coach Walls tries to accomplish. And hey, like you said, Rod, give Puerto Rico credit. They have not thrown in the towel. They have extended their defense. They have played hard. They have done a good job of getting the ball inside. And they're trying to make a game of it.
I think their coach, his energy was kind of, because it looked like it was getting sapped there for a while.
It was. And they've managed to recharge.
62-43 again. This is opening day of Global Jam for those of you watching and listening wherever you are around the globe. 4-team tournament, men's and women's ranks. Under 23, a lot of college stars and college teams Louisville coming in for the women, Kentucky Wildcats later today coming in for the men. And what began as kind of a first year, I don't know if it was an experiment, maybe a look-see last year, say, hey, well, let's see what we got here, I think is going to become a long-standing summer tradition in Toronto.
Well, we've already been told that the evening games are at 96 and 98% capacity, respectively. So you can expect that the house will be rocking.
A lot of the young stars, too, the college stars and the players for Team Canada. We saw them last year. Leonard Miller, of course, drafted into the NBA, played Team Canada last year. Saw several players get a chance to see some CEBL players as well. CEBL has been a fascination as well the last 5 years across Canada. The game is growing.
Sure is.
On our home and native land.
And it's not going to stop either.
Rickards trying to barrel through, rebound underneath, and put up and put in by Mobley.
Louisville has a really strong inside game with the likes of Mobley and Love and Cochran. It's a team that has it going both on the inside and outside. Great pass.
Perez with a great pass. She has made such a difference here, and Perez, one of the biggest and tallest Puerto Rican players, not intimidated underneath, and unfortunately they missed that easy chippy, but they'll go to the line here. Perez will shoot.
Perez, a nice dump down to Satterfield. Good action between the two bigs.
Perez plays at Dayton University in Ohio. Hails from Newark. Some of the players for Puerto Rico who might be American-born with Puerto Rican heritage, and of course Puerto Rico has such a connection to the United States, getting a chance to play nationally, internationally.
That's how it goes with these with the internationals. All of a sudden, somebody produces a birth certificate, a passport that you didn't know about, and you got a player.
Well, for how many years did Canadian sport rely on that? Now we don't have to anymore. You know, so many homegrown players, so many great programs, Jonesy.
Yeah.
I mean, for men and women, boys and girls around Canada. What in your mind has made the biggest single, beyond the obvious, having an NBA team, the success of players like Nash and the Canadians that came before, but we've got so many Canadians, NBA, WNBA.
To me, Rod, it's been the explosion at the grassroots level of the fundamentals. I mean, in my other life as a school principal, you'd have basketball tryouts and 20 kids would show up and you'd pick your 12 or 15 and you had your team. In the latter years, you had your basketball tryout and 60 kids showed up.
Yeah.
And now you have 2 teams going, or maybe 3 teams, and the coaching has gotten better. And just the popularity of the game, and that's been a big help in the programs coming due in Canada.
San Antonio comes the other way, working on Van Schaik, who threw up that long toss. Satterfield tried to shake that check, and she got it back. Shot clock's at 10. Satterfield puts it on the deck, tries to go up, and no. Probably ill-advised. Van Schaik, she is aggressive.
Yeah, she's done a good job with the rebounding.
Rickards tried to thread the needle there. It didn't go, and it will be Louisville ball. Well, you know, further to that, too, it's something as simple as just the game's popularity.
It has,
You and I were growing up.
Yeah.
Remember how hard it was to find a hoop?
Couldn't find a hoop
Now,
outside.
every yard, every driveway.
Yeah, now you don't have to go to look for a hoop. You got one at the end of your driveway. And kids are playing, you know, and kids are playing it year-round, too.
And they're playing at such a high level, and another 2 shots coming for Puerto Rico here. The lead is 20. Fourth quarter here.
And the quality of the basketball too, Rod. It's not just being played, you know, in the high schools. It's the prep level. It's the summer programs. It's the club programs. All of these places giving kids an opportunity to play. And you know, you mentioned the CEBL, and I'm thrilled to see that league, you know, holding its own and growing, because some of the young Canadian kids that finish college and university. Now they have a place to play without trying to find a job overseas.
Play with and against NBA players.
Right.
Well, you know, and a young girl who's out there watching today, wherever you're from in the world, what a chance to have a role model and a belief that you could be that next one. And you have to have that too. You have to have those role models. And think about all the young girls, the great Canadian players, and who have forged, you know, you can go to the long list and you think of Kia Nurse, obviously, and
Sure.
the rest. You know, before the
Sure.
WNBA began, it was like national team. Now you have a pro league.
Well, and that's just it. I mean, you look, you know, Marissa Russell here from Ottawa playing for Louisville, and we're going to see the Canadian under-23 team, and it may not be the WNBA, but you wire your kids to represent the country and play with the maple leaf on your chest. That helps at the grassroots level also.
San Antonio trying to force one up. Perez again puts it on the floor. Satterfield out to Quesada and on the line, out of bounds.
It's not just the NBA where we see that corner pocket provide problems. How many times do you see people stepping or standing out of bounds with that corner three, Rod?
Well, it has become such a big part of the game. So many people stepping into that zone now. 64-46, 7.5 to go in the opening game for the Louisville Cardinals and Team Puerto Rico.
Cochran.
Cochran again. Good defense from Perez. Again, Perez, who plays in the U.S. Dayton, and Coach Walls said,
Coach
don't
Walls,
put that ball on the floor.
Coach
don't
Walls,
dribble.
the old coaching line is, don't have to bounce the ball. We know it has air in it. And he was telling Cochran there, just turn and shoot it. And he turned to his bench and said, before we go home, I'm going to let every one of you dribble the ball just to get it out of your system. So check it for air. Coach Walls, check it for air, right, Coach? Check it for air.
Coach, we should give Coach Walls a headset here.
You know, when you go to Rod Black basketball camp, though, they take the air out of the ball.
Yes, they do.
So
They
when
do.
you bounce it, it doesn't come
For
back
some
up.
reason, I don't know what yet. It'd be a lot better. I was always wondering why we couldn't be. If they put the air in the ball, how much better we would have been. We would have been. Oh, but the game, that's the beauty of this game, is that you see so much talent, and we're going to see talent this week where the air will be in the ball. And by the way, there will be some players flying through the air. There are some hops in this tournament.
Yeah, there will be, and looking forward to it. It's only game one of a terrific tournament coming up in Louisville with a 20-point lead and game winding down. But you know what? I really give the Puerto Rican squad credit. They hung in. They were down 30, and it's 20 now. There's still not much time left, but
and they're getting stomped, frankly, at the time. They just looked demoralized.
And they didn't give in. They made a muscle. Here's Perez, who's been terrific for them in the second half. They're doing a lot more on the inside. They're playing closer to the basket and going through some of the pressure. Nice screen and roll action they tried there. Unfortunately, it turns into a turnover, but you know, give them credit. And you have to also give credit to what we just saw there in the Louisville defense. You know, taking charges, creating turnovers, getting runouts. These are all things that, you know, help your program, help your scoring.
And keep in mind, this is, I know there have been scrimmages and some workouts, but this is ground zero, I guess ground just 0.1 for Louisville. This is still a work in progress, so there's still a lot of work to do.
And this is a game, right? Like the coach can't stop it and walk out into the floor. There's popcorn at the concessions.
Yes,
like this is a real thing. And I look for this team, the way they're playing now. I'm going to go on record and say I think you're going to see a Canada-U.S. final, gold medal final.
Yeah, I would say, and it will be good.
Yeah.
It will be very competitive. And this Louisville team, because they have so many transfers, trying to assimilate, I think that was a key word that you mentioned earlier, is cohesion.
Yeah.
Cohesion, cohesiveness, trying to get yourselves as one. So hard to do. Puerto Rican team probably has worked a little bit more together than the Louisville team. But again, step one, and I think probably another good prediction is that this team that's, you know, gone to 5 straight Elite Eights. I know they're new and they've got a lot of new players. There's probably a good chance they're going to be a 6th.
Yeah, they do have continuity with their coaching.
Penzo, Rickards, but there's a lot of work ahead. Kiki Jefferson trying to shout something out. Taylor back in the game. Good closeout on her. They know they can't let her shoot that. Inside, and Cochran doesn't dribble that time. Goes right up, and Coach Walls is clapping his hands as Olivia Cochran just gets that rock, spins, and puts it up and in.
That was outstanding high-low action by Team USA, by Louisville, to get it inside. Just terrific basketball.
And a teachable, correctable moment. That wasn't that for Olivia Cochran. See again how they go to that. I'm sure they're going to go back to her in that post. Taylor gives it back to Cochran. They can't get the rebound. Puerto Rico will bring it back up the floor.
I've been impressed with Taylor as a playmaker too. Nice job there by Penzo.
Smiles on that Puerto Rican team. One thing I like watching is the smile, the love that this Puerto Rican team has playing with each other. You see it from Perez, you see it from San Antonio. Almost stolen. Kiki waits. Whoa, long cross-court pass. Risky one, but Taylor corralled that. 4 on the shot clock. Oh, and it works.
Wow, Rickards.
What a play.
Great job, the penetration, great job getting into the lane.
Nina Rickards, a Gator, University of Florida, grad transfer.
That's what happens when your point guard has the ball and the shot clock's running down.
Yeah.
Creativity.
Satterfield can't make it go.
Too bad. Nice move by Satterfield. Didn't have the finish.
Cochran running the floor. Jefferson, Rickards again, baseline. Why not? Why not? Nina Rickards.
Great job. Again on the penetration. Good things happen when your point guard breaks down the defense.
Talked about her high school resume, which is fantastic. McDonald's All-American.
No slouches out here. I mean, you end up at a program like Louisville or transferring from Florida, you got some pedigree. Nice move by Perez. She's been
Dayton.
really effective.
Really
Rod,
good.
second half.
She's been the difference for Puerto Rico. Defensively, offensively, getting that ball inside, something they could not do. It was almost impossible in the first half. That was a travel. 72-50 is the score. 4.5 to go, fourth quarter.
There's Rickards. The clock was running down. She said, you know what? Let's take it to the basket. My former coach used to say, Jones, there are 2 good plays in this world. A streetcar named Desire and take it to the basket.
Hamilton's pretty good too.
He said, I don't think you've seen the first one.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen it either. Saw the movie. Desire's always good though, and oh, Perez, the left hand, no. Cochran rips it down and she'll bring it back up the floor. Good hustle here. Taylor, oh, a nice touch pass to Rickards. Rickards floats it up, no. I love the bio for Nina Rickards. She enjoys snacking on green olives, playing Fortnite. She grew up playing football. And she roots for the Nets before the Knicks.
Well,
this New Yorker.
There's some toughness, yeah. If you're a New Yorker, that's inherent.
If you're rooting for the Nets over the Knicks in New York too, over the years, you know, your boat floats a different way.
Yeah, you're off the beaten path there for sure.
You like to march a different way, and I like the outlier. Under 4 to play, and Louisville's going to chalk up a W, there is no doubt. Get ready for the rest of this tournament to play Team Africa and again to play the Canadian under-23.
Louisville coaching staff and players were saying it's nice that they have the early game because they can take a shower, kick back, relax a little, and scout the others. Nice job there by Garcia.
Garcia drills that. 74-53, hey.
It's been pretty constant. I give Puerto Rico credit. They went down 30, they took 10 off the lead, and they've just been kind of hanging out here. And
hard to play with the big lead as well.
It is.
And that's where that's where good habits have to come in early on. This is probably a really good, Jeff Walz is going to look back at this as, hey, we had this big lead, then we kind of got away from our game a little bit. And there's those learning, coachable moments.
Yeah, and as you said, for him, within those are also trying things too, right? Trying different lineups, reinforcing some of the things he wants to see later on.
Knowing tendencies for some of these players too. The transfers who have played with other players, all of a sudden, you know, when you're on your old team, you know where everybody is. You know where they're going. How about this play? Maybe one of the highlights of the game from Nina Rickards.
Yeah, and another one here on the reverse layup. But Rod, that chemistry is so important that you talk about with, you know, developing teams. And the noise in the building right now, as is tradition, when Big Blue enters the building and they see their team, the Kentucky fans are standing up and welcoming them.
Yeah, the Kentucky Wildcats about to start Global Jam. They're also giving a lot of free stuff away. Usually that noise you hear when there's free stuff given away,
T-shirt giveaway.
That's usually media guys.
Yeah.
Screaming, oh yeah, I'll take that.
T-shirt
I'll
giveaway.
take that, that's free for me. So happy to be joining you with Paul Jones, Rod Black with you, Danny Gladman in the truck, Evan Almighty and the crew here, streaming wherever we're streaming, wherever you're watching today.
It's a good day when you can turn on in the middle of July and see basketball, isn't it?
It's you know, I know that the NBA is talking about that in-season tournament. I'm still a little leery about that. I see how it works out, but a lot of leagues now talking about playing off-season, you know, summer league, summer league basketball. And you said it earlier, there are no off-seasons anymore.
No.
At any age.
I mean,
for the good or the bad.
Yeah, you know, a league like the CEBL taking advantage of the downtime, quote unquote, in the NBA and playing their season from, you know, May to September,
it's
October.
kind of a pre-summer league.
Yeah.
De Leon wearing those therapeutic strips on her one leg. There she goes, nice dribble there. Quesada, close out on her. Not enough three balls that are dropping for Puerto Rico. It took a lot of shots here, a lot of misses.
Well, they did a nice job there on the penetration. Baseline drive and finding Quesada, who could knock it down.
And it will get better for Puerto Rico in this tournament too.
For sure, long tournament. First kick at the can. Sit down, watch some film, watch some video, learn, get better.
Daunting task having to face this, you know, American NCAA juggernaut in many ways. I mean, I'm sure a lot of these players looked up to. Some of them, I'm sure, have played against Louisville before, but I'm sure we're on the receiving end of a beatdown. It's a good program, good team. So many Sweet 16s, so many Elite Eights. A couple of runner-ups, Final Four appearances. Shot clock at 5 here. Rickards gives it back to Jefferson. No. Good ball movement, though.
Yeah, it was good ball movement. They did get a good look, a surprisingly good look with the shot clock running down.
Jeff Walz will like the way his team's playing, even in the late going.
Yeah, the defense still there. You know, Rickards picking up and closing out on the dribbler. And
Sada, scooper, and it goes. Good player.
She's played hard. She's done a nice job.
Sada again. Dallas, Texas. San Diego State. Brianna Michelle Quezada. Oh, and that goes. Nyla Harris.
Great cut by Harris and a good find by her teammate.
Final minute on the opening game, opening day. Place that's going to be hopping today. Old Maple Leaf Gardens, Mattamy Athletic Center. Global Jam is off and flying. Sada Swiped away. Oh, Rickards. Ooh. Oh, that hurts. That really hurts, and that's what you don't want to have happen. And I'm hoping that she gets up quick, because that looked really bad.
Rolled up on her ankle. She's up.
Yeah. Don't like those roll-ups. And Jeff Wall says, "Are you all right?" The way she's been playing, you don't want her to go down.
No,
either.
Definitely not. And
innocuous.
You know, a loose ball. They always say, loose ball, get on the ground after it.
She might need a little ice after this one, but at first it looked bad.
She's out there right now, and I'm watching her. She seems to be okay. She'll probably feel that one later.
I have a feeling Nina Rickards will probably take this to the hoop. You watch her. Like she's all right.
Well, the 2 point guards out there at the same time, Rickards and Curry.
Oh, nice ball movement that time.
Great
goes in. Harris, the high-low game. 30 seconds left.
Great high-low. Louisville has done a masterful job in this first game with all the transfers and everybody playing together. And they're going to come away with a solid win.
Final 16, they'll play this out. Shot clock is off. Jefferson to Cochran. Curry wants to shoot it, and she does. And no, knocked out of bounds. It will be Puerto Rico. So Puerto Rico has a chance.
Curry turning to Coach Walls and saying, I got it. They ran the play even with 15 seconds left. They wanted to execute something, and they got it.
Yeah, normally you let that clock kind of tick down, but no, why not? Well, they will anyway here. Puerto Rico puts up the best defense they could, but just not enough. Louisville Cardinals just better. They were so good. Kiki Jefferson was good. Nina Rickards was good. Sydney Taylor was great. She was the three-ball sharpshooter that set the tone early, and Puerto Rico just could not muster anything after that.
Yeah, a little too much from Louisville. They did a great job establishing things early, and you could tell right away, Rod, their defense was going to be the thing that carried them, the way they pressured the ball and created turnovers. Here's an example of it. Turnover, run out. Sydney Taylor getting the bucket. Defensively, taking charges, pressuring the ball. All of those things paying dividends for Louisville. And Cochran working hard on the inside.
Cardinals leaving the floor right now, waving to their supporters here, and I'm sure some of those supporters are even in blue because they come from the same state, not the same program. But a real solid start to Global Jam 23 for Louisville. And how about Nina Rickards putting on a show?
Yeah, she did a nice job late in the game with these baskets, both of them taking the ball to the goal, breaking down the defense, going past people. And Louisville's going to be tough. They are going to be a team to look out for in this round robin tournament. I still think it's going to be, and I haven't seen, just from my own local knowledge, I still say you're going to see Canada, USA in the finals.
You know, not only will it have to be it's going to be a well-played final, whatever, is it? If it is Canada, and I think it will be Louisville, it'll have to be a well-coached final. I think this strategy, especially with this Louisville team and the amount of different pieces that they have.
The cohesiveness is going to play a factor towards the end of the tournament, Rod, and that's why Coach Walls was trying all these different lineups and really trying to build some cohesion, some togetherness for this team going forward, because we're going to get to Sunday in the final pretty quickly.
Jonesy, always a pleasure, brother.
My pleasure, Rod. Always doing a great job.
Yeah, it was fun, man.
Nice to be riding shotgun with you.
Here we are in the 6. 78-55. Louisville Cardinals win game 1 of the Global Jam. If you're in Toronto and Ontario, you're coming to Toronto, come down to Mattamy. You're seeing some great ball players. Under 23, the men and the women. The Global Jam has only just begun. Enjoy it, everybody. Until next time, we'll see you soon from the 6. Somebody.